Hey, welcome back again. It's Dr. Jason Piken. Welcome back to another episode of the Digestion Diaries. Today, the word that we're going to be speaking about is the word compromise. Sometimes as a health practitioner and a coach and just somebody that cares about its patients, I just have to make compromises because people aren't willing to go all out. What I told everybody at the introduction to the Digestion Diaries is that I'm going to give you the wins and losses. And I consider this a win, even though it's a micro step. It's a little win. So this patient of mine doesn't want to go on a restricted diet at all. She has irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome means that she's not sure which foods negatively affect her, but she often feels bloated. She has loose stool sometimes. She has hard stool sometimes. It just shifts back and forth depending on I don't know what, because she's not willing to make a lot of changes yet. But what she is willing to do is listen to one of the suggestions I had for her. And really where I got this suggestion was from her own health history. See, this patient finds that when she eats smaller meals and takes her time to eat, she often can handle no matter what she's eating. Now, I'm sure if she's eating some deep fried onion rings, she's probably going to have some problems, or some cheese fries with gravy. She's probably going to have some problems, but if she eats a small amount of it, she can handle it. So this was the compromise. She's not willing to stay away from any one food group. So what we're having her do is eat off of small plates. So here's the first psychological trick that you can try for yourself. Instead of having a large plate filled up with food, or a large plate and putting some food on it so you don't really see that it's filled up, psychologically it feels good to use a small plate and fill it to the edges with the food that you want to eat. Of course, 70% of that plate, no matter whether you choose a large plate or a small plate, should be filled with vegetables. The type of vegetables is going to be topics for other stories here, but let's go back to this patient. So what she's willing to do is take a small plate, fill it up with whatever she wants to eat. Hopefully she's going to start making better choices, but for now, whatever she wants to eat, and she's going to chew as slowly as possible. She's going to be conscious about eating. She loves food, and I actually want her to taste her food, not to just shovel it down and even stand while she's eating sometimes. So she's made a deal with me that she's going to sit, eat off a small plate, chew her food, and then sit and relax for at least 15 to 20 minutes after she's eaten, even if she's hungry. So here's a trick. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the person, for the food that's sitting in your stomach to send the chemicals up to your brain that says, hey, yes, I'm satisfied. Now, of course, there are different chemical variations with different people, but if you eat a meal that's about as big as the palm of your hands or the size of a fist, that's about the size of your stomach. So once the food sits in there, and it's only about this amount, or maybe a small bowl, a small plate, once it hits your stomach and sits there, your brain will eventually get the signal that your stomach has stretched and been weighed down, and you'll get some of the signals that the hunger should be suppressed. So if you shovel down your meal in 30 seconds, let's say 1 minute, on the best 5 minutes, come on, we tend to eat fast, the brain doesn't have a chance to get that signal. So you don't feel satiated, you keep eating more. So what can happen is, even if you could handle a certain amount of food, if you make it larger and larger and larger amounts of that food that you'd be a little bit irritated by, it's going to start to bloat you and cause problems. So this person always says when she eats small amounts of food and chews well and sits and relax, she doesn't have as many problems. That's our compromise. Hopefully, because she's going to have this win, we're going to keep this up for a few weeks. She's going to be ready to move on to the next thing, which is really figuring out which foods bother her and which foods don't. So the tip of the day, to summarize, is small plates, lots of veggies, chew your food, sit back and relax a little bit. That's it. Have a great day. Enjoy the Digestion Diaries.